Commander Thale's massive ship drifted silently through the void, its hull gleaming like polished obsidian against the star field. The Concordat's finest survey vessel had mapped dozens of worlds this cycle, cataloging each primitive civilization with mechanical precision. Thale's 6 eyes scanned the bridge displays, watching his crew work with practiced efficiency. New system detected. Commander, announced Navigation Officer Crix, his crystalline fingers dancing across the control panel. Third planet shows signs of biological activity. Thale's mandibles clicked in acknowledgement. Another backwater world to document and file away. The Concordat had been doing this for centuries, maintaining careful records of every species they encountered. Some showed promise and were eventually invited to join galactic society. Others remained forever locked in their primitive shells, protected but ignored. Maya Chen sat at her station, running preliminary scans of the blue-green planet below. As a fleet xenobiologist, she had seen countless worlds filled with creatures that had barely discovered fire, let alone the stars. Her fingers moved quickly across the scanner controls, cataloging atmospheric composition, energy signatures, and technological markers. Fascinating, she murmured, studying the readouts. The planet teemed with life, and one species had achieved what looked like early industrial development. Cities dotted the continents, connected by primitive transport networks. Crude satellites orbited overhead, and she detected the electromagnetic signatures of basic communication systems. Initial assessment, Officer Maya. Thale's voice rumbled across the bridge. Maya pulled up a preliminary report on the main screen. Species designation, human. Technology level appears consistent with early space-age development. They've achieved basic orbital flight and have established a few rudimentary space stations. Population approximately 8 billion, concentrated in urban centers. She paused, reviewing the data one more time. Recommendation: protected primitive species status. They are decades, maybe centuries away from faster-than-light travel. No threat to Concordat interests. Junior researcher Kai Wilson looked up from his secondary scanning station, a frown creasing his young face. Something felt off about these readings, but he couldn't quite put his finger on what. The energy signatures were clean, almost too clean for a species that supposedly burned fossil fuels and split atoms for power. So, Kai ventured, permission to run deeper geological scans. Thale's attention shifted to the young researcher. Kai had joined the survey fleet only recently, fresh from the academy with top marks in xenoarchaeology. His enthusiasm sometimes bordered on annoying, but his eye for detail had proven valuable in previous missions. Proceed, but make it quick. We have 3 more systems to survey before cycle's end. Kai's fingers flew across his console, directing the ship's most sensitive instruments toward the planet below. Standard protocol called for surface scans only, but something about this world nagged at him. The atmospheric readings showed industrial pollution consistent with their technological assessment, but there were anomalies buried deeper in the data. As the deep scans penetrated Earth's crust, Kai's frown deepened. The geological readings showed traces of rare metals that shouldn't exist in such concentrations on a world this primitive. Titanium-vanadium alloys, neutronium composites, even traces of quantum-stabilized materials that the Concordat itself had only recently developed. That's impossible, Kai whispered to himself, running the scans again. The same result appeared on his screen. These materials couldn't occur naturally, and they certainly couldn't be produced by a species that was still using chemical rockets to reach orbit. Maya glanced over at Kai's station, noticing his puzzled expression. Finding something interesting over there. Maybe, Kai replied, not wanting to sound alarms over what might be equipment malfunction. The geological composition is a bit unusual. These humans seem to have access to materials that don't match their parent technology level. Maya shrugged. Probably just rich natural deposits. Some worlds get lucky with their mineral distribution. Remember the Zephyrian homeworld? They had naturally occurring superconductors in their mountain ranges. But Kai wasn't convinced. The distribution patterns were too precise, too purposeful. These weren't natural deposits scattered randomly through the planet's crust. They formed distinct networks, almost like infrastructure buried deep underground. He expanded his scan parameters, probing deeper into the ocean floors and mountain ranges. What he found made his breath catch. Vast metallic structures lay hidden beneath Earth's surface, connected by tunnels that spanned continents. The energy signatures suggested active systems, powered by sources he couldn't identify. "Commander," Kai called out, his voice carrying a note of uncertainty. "I think we might want to take a closer look at this world." Thale's primary eyes fixed on the young researcher. "Explain." "The subsurface scans are showing technological infrastructure that doesn't match our surface observations. There's organized metallic construction deep underground, spanning multiple continents. Either these humans are far more advanced than they appear, or something else is going on down there." The bridge fell silent except for the hum of instruments. Maya pulled up Kai's scans on her own screen, studying the data with growing confusion. The readings were clear and consistent, showing undeniable signs of advanced construction beneath Earth's surface. "Run full-spectrum analysis," Thale ordered. "I want to know exactly what we're looking at." As the ship's instruments focused their combined power on the planet below, a picture began to emerge that challenged everything they thought they knew about this supposedly primitive world. 3 hours after the initial discovery, Kai sat hunched over his console in the dimly lit research bay. The rest of the bridge crew had moved on to other duties, but he couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something enormous. Commander Thale had granted him permission for extended scans, probably just to satisfy the young researcher's curiosity before they moved on to the next system. What Kai found in those extended scans changed everything. The underground networks weren't just tunnels or natural cave systems. They were massive construction projects that put Concordat engineering to shame. Cities existed beneath Earth's major population centers, complete with transportation systems, manufacturing facilities, and power generation that operated on principles he couldn't immediately identify. "This doesn't make sense," Kai muttered, adjusting the scan frequency to penetrate deeper. The energy readings were off the charts. These underground facilities were drawing power from sources that shouldn't exist on a primitive world. Fusion reactors, certainly, but also something that looked suspiciously like zero-point energy extractors. Maya appeared beside him, carrying 2 cups of the bitter Zephyrian coffee that kept the survey crews alert during long shifts. "Still playing with your mystery planet." "Look at this," Kai said, pulling up a 3-dimensional display of Earth's subsurface. The hologram showed a complex network of tunnels, chambers, and installations stretching across continents. "These aren't natural formations. This is organized construction on a scale that rivals core world infrastructure." Maya leaned closer, studying the display. The coffee cup in her hand grew cold as she absorbed what she was seeing. "That's impossible. Our surface scans show they are barely managing orbital flight." "That's what bothers me," Kai replied, rotating the hologram to show different angles. "The surface technology and the subsurface infrastructure don't match. It's like they are deliberately showing us one thing while hiding something completely different." He switched to a different scan mode, one that detected electromagnetic signatures from communication systems. "And it gets stranger. Look at their orbital debris field." The display changed to show Earth's immediate space environment. What Maya had initially catalogued as primitive satellites and space junk resolved into something far more complex. Thousands of objects orbited the planet, many of them clearly derelict, but showing design patterns that didn't match human aesthetic or engineering principles. "Those aren't human constructions," Maya said slowly. "The whole configurations, the power distribution patterns. I've seen similar designs in our archaeological databases." Kai nodded grimly. "Ancient hegemony scout ships, early Concordat survey drones, even some designs I can't identify. It's like Earth's orbital space is a graveyard of alien technology spanning centuries." He pulled up another data stream, this one showing communication intercepts. The ship's translation protocols had been working overtime, decoding human languages and communication patterns. Most of it was mundane civilian chatter, but buried in the data streams were encrypted military and government communications. "I managed to crack some of their secure channels," Kai admitted, knowing he was pushing the boundaries of survey protocols. "They call it the Deep Space Initiative." The intercepted communications painted a picture that made Maya's skin crawl with unease. Human documents dating back over 1,000 years described systematic recovery operations whenever alien vessels crashed or malfunctioned in their star system. Every piece of foreign technology had been carefully collected, studied, and reverse-engineered. "They've been watching us," Maya whispered. All of us. Every species that's passed through the system. The communications revealed elaborate underground facilities dedicated to xenotechnology research. Humans have been dissecting alien ships, studying their propulsion systems, analyzing their weapons, and slowly incorporating the technology into their own hidden infrastructure. They had built their underground civilization using a patchwork of stolen alien science spanning millennia. "Look at this transmission," Kai said, highlighting a particularly revealing document. It detailed human agents who had somehow infiltrated various alien societies across the galaxy, sending back intelligence reports about Concordat fleet movements, hegemony expansion plans, and even rumors about the mysterious void dwellers from the Galactic Rim. Maya felt a chill run down her spine as she read the translated text. These weren't primitive savages stumbling around their home planet. They were sophisticated players in a galactic game that most species didn't even realize was being played. The surface cities, the crude rockets, the apparently primitive technology, it was all theater. A carefully maintained illusion designed to make visiting alien civilizations dismiss Earth as irrelevant while the real human civilization grew in secret beneath their feet. "They know we're here," Maya said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Of course they know," Kai replied, pulling up real-time communication intercepts. "They've been tracking our approach for weeks. Their hidden sensor networks detected us the moment we entered the system." The intercepted messages showed human military commanders discussing the Concordat survey ship in detail. They knew the ship's classification, its crew complement, even failed service record. Somehow, impossibly, these supposedly primitive humans had access to Concordat military databases. "We need to tell Commander Thale," Maya said, but even as she spoke, she wondered if it was already too late. If the humans had been playing this game for over 1,000 years, what else might they be capable of? Kai was already reaching for the communication panel when his console chimed with an incoming message. The transmission was coming from Earth's surface, directed specifically at their ship, encoded in perfect high Concordat diplomatic language. The message was simple, polite, and absolutely terrifying in its implications. "Welcome to our system, Commander Thale. We hope your survey proceeds smoothly. Please let us know if you require any assistance during your visit." The message from Earth hung in the air like a blade waiting to fall. Maya stared at the communication display, reading the perfect Concordat diplomatic script over and over. The humans weren't supposed to know their language, let alone use it with a formal precision that took most alien diplomats years to master. "How long have they been listening to us?" she asked, her voice tight with growing unease. Kai was already diving deeper into the historical databases, cross-referencing every alien vessel that had passed through the system in the last 2,000 years. What he found made his hand shake as he worked the controls. "Maya, look at this," he said, pulling up a timeline that stretched back centuries. "Every single ship that's gone missing in this sector, every survey drone that failed to report back, every scout vessel that simply vanished, they all passed through the Sol system." The data was overwhelming. Hegemony exploration ships from 800 years ago. Concordat survey drones from the early expansion period. Even ancient Void Walker vessels from a mysterious species that had disappeared into the Galactic Rim. All of them had either crashed on Earth or been somehow disabled and captured. Maya traced the pattern with growing horror. They are not just scavenging crashes. They are actively hunting alien technology. The evidence was undeniable once they knew what to look for. Ocean floor scans showed massive salvage operations stretching back millennia. Underwater facilities designed specifically for breaking down alien vessels and studying their technology. The humans had turned their planet into a vast collection and research center for xenotechnology. "Look at this archive," Kai said, highlighting a section of intercepted human communications. "They have detailed technical specifications for Concordat hyperdrives, hegemony quantum computers, even Zephyr neural interfaces. They know more about our technology than most of our own engineers." The scope of the deception was staggering. While alien civilizations had catalogued Earth as a primitive backwater, the humans had been systematically studying every advanced species in the galaxy. They had detailed files on military capabilities, political structures, even cultural weaknesses that could be exploited. Maya pulled up the surface scans again, seeing them with new eyes. Those crude chemical rockets weren't signs of primitive technology. They were decoys. The real human space program operated from hidden launch facilities scattered across the planet, using propulsion systems reverse-engineered from captured alien vessels. "They've been playing us all for fools," she whispered. Commander Thale's voice crackled over the intercom. "All senior staff to the bridge immediately. We have a situation." When Maya and Kai arrived on the bridge, they found the command crew gathered around the main display. The screen showed Earth in high resolution, but now they could see details that had been invisible during their initial scans. Massive structures were rising from the ocean floors, and energy signatures were spiking across the planet. "They know we've discovered them," Thale said grimly. "Our deep scans triggered some kind of automated response system." The display shifted to show dozens of objects moving through Earth's orbital space. What had looked like space debris minutes earlier was now revealed as an active defense network. Ancient alien weapons platforms, retrofitted and integrated into a comprehensive planetary shield. "So," reported Communications Officer Wren, "we're receiving another transmission from the planet's surface." The message appeared on screen, again written in flawless Concordat diplomatic language. But this time, the tone had shifted subtly from welcoming to something more direct. "Commander Thale, we appreciate your interest in our world. However, we believe you've seen enough for your survey purposes. We kindly request that you complete your mission and continue to your next destination. Thank you for your understanding." The politeness of the message made it even more menacing. There was no threat, no aggressive posturing, just a calm suggestion that they leave. But the implication was clear. The humans were no longer pretending to be primitive, and they wanted the Concordat ship gone. "How do they know my name?" Thale muttered, his mandibles clicking nervously. Kai was already checking their ship security protocols. "Say, I think they've been monitoring our communications since we arrived. Their technology is more advanced than we realized. They might have access to our entire database." The truth was becoming terrifyingly clear. The humans hadn't just been collecting alien technology. They'd been using it to build an intelligence network that spanned the galaxy. They knew about Concordat fleet movements, military capabilities, even the personal histories of individual officers. Maya watched as more structures emerged from Earth's oceans and underground facilities. Massive installations that had been hidden beneath the planet's surface were now visible, their purpose unmistakably military. The humans had built a planetary defense system using combined technology of dozens of alien species. They'd been preparing for this moment, she realized. Every ship they've captured, every piece of technology they've stolen, it was all building toward this. Another message arrived, this one even more direct. "Commander, we detect elevated stress levels among your crew. Please be assured that we mean no harm to your vessel or your people. We simply prefer to maintain our privacy. We trust you will respect our wishes." The fact that they could monitor stress levels aboard a Concordat ship from planetary range was deeply unsettling. Their sensor technology was clearly superior to anything in the Concordat fleet. "So," Wren reported, "I'm detecting massive energy buildups across the planet. Whatever defense systems they have, they are powering them up." Thale faced an impossible decision. Protocol demanded that he report this discovery to Concordat Command immediately. A species this advanced, especially one that had been deceiving the galaxy for centuries, represented a potential threat to the established order. But his ship was alone, deep in human space, facing technology that had been refined using the best innovations from dozens of alien civilizations. The humans had been watching, learning, and preparing for over 1,000 years. They knew exactly what they were dealing with, while the Concordat was stumbling blind into a situation they didn't understand. As if reading his thoughts, one final message appeared on the communication screen. "We hope your survey has been informative. Commander, safe travels to your next destination." It wasn't a request anymore. The tension on the bridge was thick enough to cut with a plasma torch. Commander Thale stood before the main communication array, his 6 eyes focused on the quantum transmitter that would carry his report across the galaxy to Concordat Command. His clawed fingers hovered over the activation controls, but something held him back. "Sir," Maya said quietly, "once we send that transmission, there's no taking it back." Thale's mandibles clicked in agitation. Standard protocol was clear. Any discovery of advanced hostile civilization had to be reported immediately. But the humans had made no aggressive moves beyond powering up their defense systems. They had been polite, even cordial, in their request for the Concordat ship to leave. "They are not hostile," Kai said from his station. "They are just careful. Careful enough to deceive the entire galaxy for 1,000 years," Theo replied grimly. "That level of deception requires planning and coordination that suggests a unified planetary government with capabilities we don't understand." While the command crew debated their next move, Kai made a decision that would change everything. His fingers moved across his personal communication console, using the ship's secondary transmitters to send a narrow-beam message directly to Earth's surface. The message was simple. "This is Junior Researcher Kai Wilson aboard the Concordat survey vessel. I would like to speak with whoever is in charge of your xenological affairs. I believe there may be alternatives to the current situation that benefit everyone involved." The response came back within minutes, faster than should have been possible given the distance. The communication was encrypted using algorithms that Kai's computer struggled to decode, but when the message finally appeared on his screen, it was written in perfect standard galactic common. "Mr. Wilson, this is Dr. James Mitchell, Director of Xenological Integration for the Sol Defense Initiative. I appreciate your reaching out independently. Would you be interested in visiting our primary research facility? I believe a face-to-face conversation might be more productive than ship-to-ship communications." Kai stared at the message. The humans were inviting him down to their planet. It was either the stupidest or the bravest thing he'd ever been asked to do. He glanced around the bridge. Commander Theo was still arguing with Maya about the exact wording of the report to Concordat Command. No one was paying attention to the junior researcher in the corner. Kai made his choice. "I accept your invitation, Dr. Mitchell. What are the arrangements?" The response included detailed coordinates and transportation instructions. According to the message, a human shuttle would meet him at a designated point in Earth's orbital space. The meeting location was listed in official Concordat survey records as a natural cave system of minor geological interest located in what humans call the Rocky Mountains. 20 minutes later, Kai was aboard a small survey pod, officially conducting routine atmospheric analysis while actually heading toward his rendezvous with human representatives. He had left a detailed log of his findings for Maya to discover, along with instructions to delay any report to Concordat Command until his return. The human shuttle that met him was unlike anything in the xenological databases. It moved with impossible smoothness, its hull seeming to bend light around it. The technology was clearly alien in origin, but modified with human engineering that improved on the original designs. "Welcome aboard, Researcher Wilson," said the pilot, a human female with short brown hair and intelligent eyes. "I'm Captain Rachel Torres. Dr. Mitchell is looking forward to meeting you." The flight to Earth's surface took only minutes. The shuttle descended through the atmosphere using some form of gravity manipulation that made the journey remarkably smooth. They landed at what appeared to be a simple hiking trail, but Kai's instruments detected massive insulations hidden beneath the mountain. Dr. James Mitchell was waiting at the landing site. He was a tall, lean man with graying hair and the kind of calm confidence that came from dealing with complex situations for decades. He wore simple civilian clothes that wouldn't have looked out of place in any Concordat colony. "Welcome to Earth, Kai," he said, extending his hand in the human greeting gesture. "I hope you don't mind the informality, but I find these conversations go better when we treat each other as colleagues rather than potential enemies." The entrance to the facility was cleverly disguised as a natural cave mouth. But once they passed through the initial chamber, Kai found himself in a technological wonderland that rivaled anything he'd seen on Core Worlds. "Impressive, isn't it?" Dr. Mitchell said, noticing Kai's amazement. "This particular facility has been under construction for about 400 years. We've had a lot of time to get the details right." The corridors were filled with humans and technology from dozens of different alien species. Kai recognized hegemony neural interfaces, Concordat quantum computers, and even some Voidwalker artifact that was supposed to be unique museum pieces. "You've been studying us for a very long time," Kai observed. "Over a millennium," Dr. Mitchell confirmed as they walked. "We've had visitors from 4 to 7 different species over the years. Some were friendly explorers, others were advanced scouts for invasion forces. We learned early that being seen as primitive was often the difference between survival and extinction." They entered a comfortable office that looked surprisingly normal despite being buried deep inside a mountain. Dr. Mitchell gestured for Kai to sit in a chair that automatically adjusted to accommodate his physiology, another piece of adapted alien technology. Every species that achieves interstellar travel faces the same choice, Dr. Mitchell explained. Join an existing empire, be conquered by one, or find a way to remain independent. We chose independence, but we realized it required careful planning and a great deal of patience. So you've been pretending to be primitive while secretly building a galactic intelligence network, Kai said. Exactly. Dr. Mitchell smiled. We study every species we encounter. We learn their strengths, their weaknesses, their political structures, and their expansion patterns. Knowledge is our primary weapon, and patience is our greatest strength. Kai looked around the office, noting the display showing real-time information about Concordat fleet movements, hegemony territorial disputes, and political situations across the galaxy. You know more about galactic civilization than most governments, he realized. We have to, Dr. Mitchell replied. Our survival depends on understanding the bigger picture. We've watched empires rise and fall, seen species absorbed or destroyed, and learned from every example. The galaxy is a dangerous place for small, independent worlds. So what happens now? Kai asked. My commander is preparing to report your existence to Concordat Command. Dr. Mitchell leaned back in his chair, his expression thoughtful. That depends largely on what you tell him when you return to your ship. Kai, we're not looking for conflict, but we're prepared for whatever comes next. Dr. Mitchell stood and walked to a massive wall display that dominated one side of his office. With a gesture, the screen came alive with a three-dimensional map of the local galactic sector. Kai's breath caught as he realized what he was looking at. This is the real scope of human civilization, Dr. Mitchell said calmly. What you see on Earth is just a beginning. The holographic display showed 12 star systems, each marked with human settlements. These weren't recent colonies. The data indicated some had been established for over 300 years. Kai stared at the map, trying to process the implications. You've been spreading across the galaxy while everyone thought you were confined to one primitive world, he whispered. Slowly and carefully, Dr. Mitchell confirmed. We learned early that rapid expansion draws attention. Instead, we've been patient. A few families here, a small research station there, always maintaining the appearance of natural asteroid formations or uninhabitable worlds. He zoomed in on one system that Kai recognized, Kepler 442. The Concordat catalogued it as having no intelligent life just 50 years ago. Because we were very good at hiding, Dr. Mitchell smiled. Our people there live in underground cities, just like on Earth. Surface scans show nothing but barren rock and ice. But beneath the surface, we have a thriving colony of nearly 1 million people. The display shifted to show what looked like asteroid fields drifting through deep space between star systems. But as Dr. Mitchell highlighted specific objects, Kai realized they were actually massive ships disguised as space rocks. Generation ships, Kai breathed. You've been building them for centuries. Each one carries about 50,000 people and everything needed to establish a new colony, Dr. Mitchell explained. They travel at sublight speeds, taking decades to reach their destinations. To any casual observer, they are just asteroids drifting through space. We have 4 to 7 of them currently in transit. Kai's mind raced as he calculated the numbers. If each ship carried 50,000 people, and there were dozens of them, plus established colonies, then humanity's true population was far larger than anyone had imagined. How many humans are actually out there? He asked. About 2 billion spread across our colonies, with another 2 million aboard generation ships, Dr. Mitchell replied casually, as if discussing the weather. Earth itself maintains about 8 billion, but most of our real population lives underground or in hidden orbital habitats. The wall display changed again, showing something even more shocking. Intelligence reports, military assessments, and political analyses from across the galaxy. Information that should have been impossible for an isolated species to obtain. We have people integrated into 43 different alien civilizations, Dr. Mitchell continued. They look different, of course. Genetic modification, surgical alteration, even some cybernetic integration. But they are human, and they send us reports about everything happening in their adopted societies. Kai stared at images of humans who had been modified to blend in with various alien species. Some looked almost unrecognizable, but their eyes held an unmistakably human intelligence. The Zephyrian trade delegate who negotiated the mining rights of the Anteri system last year, that was one of yours. Agent Rebecca North, Dr. Mitchell confirmed. She's been living among the Zephyrians for 20 years. They think she's a distant colony variant of their species. As Kai absorbed this information, alarms began sounding in the facility. Dr. Mitchell glanced at a communication device on his desk, his expression growing serious. "It appears Commander Thale has sent his report to Concordat Command," he said. "They are dispatching an investigation fleet to our system." "How do you know that?" Kai asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. "Agent David Park works in Concordat Fleet Operations. He sent us a priority message about 20 minutes ago." Dr. Mitchell's tone remained calm, but Kai could see him making decisions. "I'm afraid our conversation is going to be cut short. We need to prepare for visitors." The wall display changed to show Earth in real time. As Kai watched, the planet began to transform before his eyes. Massive structures rose from the ocean floors, defensive platforms armed with weapons that combined technology from dozens of alien species. Underground cities opened their concealed entrances, revealing populations that dwarfed the surface settlements. "You're dropping the disguise," Kai realized. "There's no point in pretending anymore," Dr. Mitchell replied. "Besides, it's time for the galaxy to meet the real human civilization." The display showed Earth's orbital space filling with vessels that had been invisible moments before. Sleek warships using cloaking technology stolen from long-dead civilizations. Massive construction platforms that had been building ships and weapons for centuries. Defense satellites that could track targets across star systems. But the most shocking revelation came when the display widened to show the entire galactic sector. One by one, other primitive worlds began revealing their true nature. Planets that had been catalogued as pre-industrial were suddenly bristling with advanced technology and hidden populations. The Concordat isn't just dealing with one hidden human world, Dr. Mitchell explained. Every species in the galaxy has been systematically underestimating a civilization that spans dozens of star systems. Agent reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Human operatives embedded in the hegemony military, Zephyrian research institutions, even the mysterious Void Walker territories, all confirming that their host civilizations were scrambling to respond to the revelation. "We've been playing a game that most species didn't even know existed," Dr. Mitchell said. "While empires measure their territory in light years, we measured our influence in the relationships we built, the knowledge we gathered, and the patience we maintained." Kai watched as the investigation fleet that Thale had summoned appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. 12 Concordat heavy cruisers, enough firepower to level the planet's surface. But as they approached, they found themselves facing a defense network that had been centuries in the making. "What happens now?" Kai asked. Dr. Mitchell smiled, and for the first time, Kai saw something predatory in that expression. "Now we find out if the galaxy is ready to accept humanity as an equal partner, or if we need to demonstrate why underestimating us was such a dangerous mistake." The long game that had started over 1,000 years ago was finally reaching a conclusion, and the species that everyone had dismissed as primitive was about to show the galaxy just how far their reach had truly extended.